Oh, hello, this is Tak Chung from Walk with Tak. Welcome to our YouTube channel. If you enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe, and share. Please feel free to write to me at walkwithtak@gmail.com if you have any question regarding to this video or any other videos that I have posted in the past. If you have any videos that you would like me to make, please let me know. I'm looking forward to hearing from you. And this morning, I got excited when I read an email message from my friend Bob. She told me how much she liked chow mein. And she cooked all the ingredients separately using the combinatorial cooking method. It got me really interested. I decided I'm going to make a chicken lo mein. I have some pineapple on hand. I love cooked food with pineapple. And I also going to try something new. I'm going to cook with some pecan. For vegetables, I'm going to use some broccoli. They're already in my advanced prepping. I will blanch the vegetables separately in my titanium wok. I really enjoy using this wok. I reviewed this wok earlier in this video. This wok has some really nice feature. One of the features I particularly like is that it holds heat extremely well. It boils water really fast, much faster than any other woks that I have. In addition to the broccoli, I'm also going to blanch some carrot. I use a method called combinatory blanching, and using this method, I can blanch different ingredients together. But I blanch them at different time in order to achieve the texture that I want. And the carrot, I blanch a little bit less time. Blanching them took only about a minute or so. I do not want to cook them too much. The blanching will soften the texture of them, and also blanching really retain the vivid color of the vegetables. And next, I'm going to use the same boiling water for making some pasta noodles. This wok is a 14-inch wok. It is perfect for making about 2 pounds of pasta noodles. Making pasta noodles in a wok is probably the easiest and most convenient way. It's far better than using a pasta pot. And the reason was simple because the wok has an opening about 14 inches wide. And this is very convenient because most pasta noodles are 12 inches. So you can lay the pasta noodles directly into the wok without having to bend them. I use a pair of long-handled tongs allow me to stir the pasta noodles. Now, it's just important that you constantly stir the pasta noodles, otherwise it might get stuck and to the bottom of the wok. Boiling the pasta noodles takes very little time. I usually boil them for about 6 to 7 minutes. I want to boil them al dente because quite often I will cook this noodle a little bit further when I use to make lo mein, chow mein, or pan-fried noodles. In most other woks that I use for boiling pasta noodles, the water never comes to full boil, which is quite alright. But with this wok, the water will come to boil very easily. And this is a testimony of how well this wok is able to hold heat. As you can see here, that I really can get the water boiling. And in about 6 minutes, the noodle is done. I transfer them in a large bowl of water, and this bowl has a colander, which is very convenient because instead of empty the water into the sink, I can put the noodles directly into this cold water, and this will stop the noodle from continue to cook. And then I take it to the sink, then I will be able to rinse it much easier. I store the noodles in 3-cup plastic containers. Noodles has excellent shelf life in the refrigerator. Usually, these pasta noodles will last about 2 weeks. I use these noodles in different kind of dishes. Of course, I use them in the regular spaghetti meal, but I will also use these noodles in the chow mein, pan-fried noodles, as well as lo mein, which I'm going to use some of the noodles for this dish today. There are many different ways to make lo mein. My approach in making a lo mein is that I will season the lo mein first. Usually, I will season it very lightly to give it a basic flavor. And then the food ingredients will go over the lo mein. The first thing I'm going to do is that I'm going to season it a little bit with my basic seasoning mix. I'm then going to enhance the flavor of the lo mein with a few drops of hot sesame oil. This will give the lo mein some basic flavor. A few years ago, a friend of mine showed me this little trick, is to add about maybe 1 to 2 teaspoons of Shaoxing cooking wine. This actually makes the lo mein more flavorful, and I really enjoy that. And when I look into the advanced prepping in my refrigerator, I discover I have some pepper already cut up. I thought it would be fun. I'm going to just add a few pieces of pepper, and this will give the noodle some additional flavor as well as some interesting texture. I also find some scallions already chopped up, and I thought this would be perfect for enhancing the flavor of the noodles. With this addition, the noodle will have great flavor. In fact, you can eat the noodle just the way as it is. This is a good example of combinatorial cooking because you cook different ingredients separately so they have their own individual flavor. Okay, next I'm going to cook the chicken that is going to go over this dish. I already have the chicken cut up in my advanced prepping. The first thing I did when I entered into the kitchen is that I took some chicken from the freezer and put it in a bowl of lukewarm water to thaw them out. To cook this chicken, I'm going to coat the chicken with about 1 tablespoon of cornstarch, 1 teaspoon of sugar, and a little bit of my basic seasoning mix. Before I start cooking the chicken, I'm going to spot season the wok. And it is very simple. I just heat up the oil to its smoking point, and I let it to smoke gently for about 15 seconds. And this is when the wok is being seasoned. This shallow frying method is excellent way to cook chicken. The reason is that it will give the chicken a nice texture. And also, when I coat the chicken with cornstarch together with sugar and the basic seasoning mix, it will cause the chicken to char and it creates a nice light crispy breading on the surface of the chicken. And the cornstarch will protect the chicken from overheating, and it will allow the chicken to cook in such a way that it keep it to be moist and tender. I really enjoy using this Heston wok for 2 reasons. One is that this wok has a very large flat surface area, and this allows me to use it like a small frying pan. This is just perfect for me to lay out the chicken in a single layer on the surface of the wok. And the second thing I really like about this wok is that it's able to hold heat extremely well, so consequently it can char the chicken. In comparison to other woks that I have, maybe with the exception of the cast iron wok, which I do not use too often because it's very cumbersome, this Heston wok probably has the best heat retention capacity. So as you can see, as I turn the chicken over, they char really very nicely. And the reason is that because the cornstarch will behave like a breading, and the sugar will cause the chicken to become caramelized on the surface. And then the basic seasoning mix, because I have onion flakes in it, it causes charring and give it almost like a grill-like texture. And now the chicken is almost, I would say, maybe 60 to 70% done. So the next step is that I'm going to add about a half cup of pecan. This pecan are raw pecan. So I add it right at this point because this will allow me to fry the pecan as well. I really enjoy using nut in my stir frying, but most of the time I only use 2 kinds of nut. I will use either cashew nut or almond. I have never tried pecan before, and I happen to have some pecan in my pantry, and I decided I'm going to give it a try, see how it will turn out. Many years ago, I had a dish, it's referred to as pecan shrimp, and I really enjoyed the pecan in that dish. I normally do not have pecan on hand, but recently I bought some pecan to make a pecan ice cream. So I thought, well, I'm going to try this in this dish and see how it turn out. Okay, now the dish is done. What I'm going to do is that I'm going to make a sauce. I'm going to turn down the heat before making the sauce. So I'm going to pour some cornstarch water suspension that I prepared earlier. I use 1 part of cornstarch to 2 parts or 3 parts of water. The ratio is not essential because you can always make adjustment. As you shown here, the cornstarch that I add is much thicker than what I would like. Then what I need to do is that to add some hot water. This will allow me to thin it out to the texture that I want. And next, I'm going to season the dish with some oyster sauce. I'm going to start out to use about 2 tablespoons of oyster sauce. Since this dish is going to go over a noodle, I want to make enough sauce that it can saturate the noodles. It will give the noodles better flavor. And making a sauce is a lot of fun. I can make adjustment to fit a particular type of dish. Next is that I'm going to add the vegetables to the dish. Now the vegetable that I add, which I have blanched before, you notice that blanching really keeps the vegetable in excellent color. The broccoli is extremely green. I put them way at the end because I do not want to cook them any further because I already cooked them to the texture that I want. The last step is that I'm going to add some fresh pineapples. I always have some fresh pineapples on hand. I enjoy eating pineapples, and cooking them is another way for me to enjoy my pineapples. A few quick stir, the dish is ready. Basically, all I want to do is to warm up all the ingredients to about the same serving temperature. A few quick stir, the dish is ready, and I'm going to serve it over the lo mein that I have prepared earlier. This dish is a good demonstration of template-based cooking because I do not use recipes. All the individual components that I cook are based on their own template. In this case, all I'm doing is that I use different templates and combine them together to create this dish. As the end result is that by making substitutions, you can see you can create a large number of different variations of this basic template. This dish is a good demonstration of my fast cooking system. With flavor chasing, advanced prepping, stir frying, and template-based cooking, you can create many variations of the basic template. So if you'd like to learn more about my fast cooking system, please subscribe to this YouTube channel. So keep on cooking, and I will see you tomorrow.